weekend. Let's bring in Sophia Bollag on this as a politics reporter for the San Francisco Chronicle. But the president's got us talking about it, doesn't he, today? What's the story out there in San Francisco or in the Bay Area in general, in California? What are people saying?
Absolutely. I would say that the general response in California from both tourists that my colleagues have been interviewing who are visiting San Francisco and Alcatraz Island to politicians like the state senator who represents the area, pretty roundly criticizing it. The state senator I referenced called it absurd. As you referenced, it would be very expensive to do. Does not seem like something that would be, very practical at this point, and is something that everyone that I've talked to today has criticized.
Okay, that said, here's the stats. I have it on the tablet. I'll put it up on. President Trump was saying nobody escaped. Well, 36 attempted, 14 separate incidents. Almost all were caught but didn't survive. But you did have some. England Brothers and Frank Morris. They were never solved, those cases. So maybe old Frank got away. Maybe they got away. They weren't quite sure. Here's what Tom Homan, the border czar, had to say about the idea. If you want someone, Sophia, who does think it's not a bad idea, no surprise it would be Homan. Here he is.
We need detention beds, and we do contracts in a lot of states, a lot of local municipalities. So I think it's certainly an option, especially for the significant public safety, trust, national security threats. I mean, should be on the table. Should be on the table,
he says. I guess one of the issues there needing detention beds is how much, for the cost, the bang for the buck, you could actually fit, right, in Alcatraz?
Right, and I think this idea of Alcatraz being used as a prison really fits into, it's really about symbolism, right? It fits into this idea that Homan and Trump and the rest of Trump's administration are really pushing that this is a president who wants to be tough on crime. And I think it's really less about the, practicality of this. It's less about the logistics. And it's more about the symbolism of a president who really wants to center the conversation on an issue that he's, strong in the polls about, at least right now, in terms of being tough on crime and tough on immigration.
I think you're hitting on something exactly right in that. That's why I said, well, he's got us talking about it. Here in front of me, I have the movies inspired by Alcatraz, and we all know them, but that was something that literally the president referenced earlier, not these specific movies, The Rock or Escape from Alcatraz, but the idea that it's in the movies, that and Sing Sing, which is still open in upstate New York. But he was saying, oh, those are the prisons you think of in the movies, which does fit this image. And I think that's important to him, that image. Now, Nancy Pelosi on X earlier said Alcatraz closed as a federal penitentiary more than 60 years ago. Now a very popular national park, major tourist attraction. President's proposal is not a serious one. We'll see. That might be right. What about as a tourist attraction? It is very popular.
Absolutely. I grew up in the Bay Area, so it's been many, many years since I've been there. But certainly I visited when I was a little kid. It is really popular, and obviously to turn it into a prison would remove it as being a tourist attraction that can generate tourism revenue for the National Park Service. So that's another aspect of this.
All right, Sophia, thank you very much. Sophia Bollag, San Francisco Chronicle with us. Coming up.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.